I'd love to just get into your story and sharing how you overcame your SIBO and your whole gut
Okay.
health journey and where you're at now and what has supported you the most, and then how you're helping and supporting other people.
Great. Yeah, I'd love to talk about this all the time. So where did we start my gut health journey? So we're talking about gut health, my gut health journey. I don't even know the timeline. I just, when things started, but I'd say things were really bad for about at least 5 to 7 years of just, I guess SIBO was the best diagnosis I got, but it was just a number of different complications going on. And I did a lot of traditional, the natural ways of all the options. I exhausted all the options and really trying to find a way to just not feel like I was on death's doorstep every moment. It was just really anxiety inducing to have problems with the gut, because a lot of our nervous system is regulated there, and then just to not know what the issue is or how to solve it. So I was on a lot of just like herbal remedies on and off for years and just struggling. Oops, I just sent you a bunch of stuff. I my body was like really dealing with toxicity at that point, from just trying to detox and stop trying to have all these rampant infections. Like, you have so many things going on when your immune system breaks down, and really the gut gets out of control. You have bacteria overgrowth, you have fungus overgrowth, parasites, and all of that stuff. So it's never really, symptoms can really range just based on the various kinds of imbalances you can have in the gut ecosystem and function. It's a mystery for a lot of people. It was a mystery for me, trying to get to the bottom of it. And I have a significant background in gut health and nutrition. That's where I have a doctorate in nutrition and worked in microbiome, close to microbiome research for years. And so I know a lot about the mechanics of it, but healing it was really challenging, learning how to heal and get good information and not just get slammed with supplement protocols that really are just herbal antibiotic. So it's about detoxing the body and using the different things like energy medicine and functional. But so I learned different tools over the years to restore my own gut health. I had to really take matters into my own hands. And I discovered Purium along the way. That was one of the superfoods that I think we have common. And that was been a really instrumental tool in restoring balance and damage that had happened in my gut from so many infections over the years. They just have their transformation pack is just so uniquely put together. If you look at what other protocols out there, they don't really have the same elements that are addressing things that are affecting us at a really fundamental level when it comes to our gut, like the soil health, and just being responsible for a lot of just a population that's deficient in minerals and trace minerals. And so we're not detoxing. Those trace minerals are involved in so many body systems, and we're not able to detox and have enough cellular energy. So everyone's getting sick, and there's just so much toxins that we're dealing with. So detox has to become a way of life. And Purium superfoods are just so foundational for that, because they're pure. Well, they're not putting anything else in to the body. They're helping detoxify by supporting its own processes, its own natural abilities. That's really the key. Because one of my issues in my healing journey was taking all these supplements all the time. We're just cycling toxins through. They're killing off bacteria, but they weren't. It was just getting more and more toxic. My liver was getting more and more burdened. Yeah, it was just so many people are going through these same issues without any solution, without any acknowledgement. That's what I do now. So I'm answering questions.
Yeah. Well, do you want to explain what is really happening with small intestinal bacteria overgrowth? How does that manifest in somebody, and what are the kind of signs and symptoms?
Great question. There can be some, there are infinite possibilities, but it comes down to 4 or 5 main categories that people have SIBO. And really any gut issue I would apply this to, and any autoimmune issue. But we have poor nutrition, and so that issue I already mentioned, just poor nutrition at a foundational level. So our metabolic processes are less efficient because of that. Because nutrients are like, we gotta have them to do anything in our body. And so then the cell has 2 functions: produce energy and eliminate waste. And it all starts to break down when it's not getting enough of the minerals. The second one is hydration also. That's really key, and it's hard to get water that's hydrating, especially in cities. And so that's just another, the population is dehydrated on a large scale.
Yeah.
And those are just 2 foundations. Without any toxins or anything else, just nutrition and hydration. You need to have those systems intact. And then another issue, often, so for me, like I spent so much money on supplements and really difficult diets with SIBO specifically, like the SIBO and the FODMAPs diets and all those things were so hard and so difficult. And how much money I spent, I have no idea, like over $10,000. And I'm like a lucky case. But my issue had to do with a mechanical function in my gut that had happened, who knows why. Could have been an accident, could have been stress, could have been an infection. But we have these valves in our intestines. Yeah, it was just like a thing was causing that supposed to keep the small intestine clean and sanitized, the ileocecal valve it's called.
Yep.
That was just not functioning properly. And so it was just allowing bacteria to just cruise on into the small intestine where it's supposed to. So it was impossible for my immune system to keep up. And that was the cause of my SIBO. It was like nothing to do with diet at all.
Right.
And as soon as that got resolved with kinesiology, it was like I healed. But then my gut was so damaged after that, and I couldn't absorb nutrients. I had real malabsorption, real malnutrition because of that. So it was really the Purium that helped heal my gut. And then also root cause infection, like just parasites and things like that just are really prevalent. It's just thing we got to deal with. Any number of things, antibiotics, like our microbiome is just destroyed from an early age. We're a lot more vulnerable to infections in the gut and different parts of the body. And then emotions are a huge part of it as well. Emotions when they're unprocessed, they take so much energy. They just steal out of energy to stay unprocessed. Totally. They really disrupt the heart energy in the body, the flow of energy. And that causes a lot of health problems. That's at the root of a lot of health problems. Yeah. And especially with gut health, I have a practice now, like a gut health specialist coaching, and addressing the emotional issues is key in helping people resolve the issues, because they do come back. Gut issues are really well known for being recurring. They're hard to get rid of, like indigestion, a chronic thing. SIBO is just, it's very hard to get rid of. IBS. And there's a lot of reasons for that, a lot of physiological reasons for that, but you can shift patterns in the body by shifting the emotional patterns. You can really shift a lot of what's happening on a physiological level. You can free up energy for your immune system. In infections, you can do a lot when you just free up energy, but it's like a skill that no one has. Yeah. Processing emotions. So
it's crazy how that is like at the root of everything. It's so foundational, and that's like where my journey has led me to, just better understanding my own body and the symptoms and just like one-off random things that happen. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And so I've learned about Germanic New Medicine, which really gave language to that. And then I just read the book by Gabor Mate, The Myth of Normal, which is all about trauma and how it relates to illness on an individual level and a collective level. And it really is everything. If we're not addressing the emotional conflicts and the stress in our bodies in that way, you could be doing all the food, all the nutrition, all the movement, all the things that are good for you, but it's the stress and the lack of harmony in your own emotional body is going to override it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also find that if people have a lot of trauma and emotions that are unprocessed, it really, yeah, it mimics like what's happening in the body. Like the body won't be able to eliminate waste as well, and it's just holding on to toxicity, and it's wild. So it's you can do a lot by just really learning how to feel your feelings and that kind of thing. And there's a huge connection. It's unbelievable, and it's great self-exploration. The healing journey is the body's trying to tell us something when it's sick.
And what's the best way that you go about like addressing that? Because I know for me, that's been like such a big challenge in my own journey with my health. And it continues to evolve and I continue to better understand things. But I know like it can be so frustrating when I feel my body talking to me, but I don't know what it's saying, right? Like I'm doing my very best to understand it. And then generally, like, it comes to me maybe at another time and maybe there's like divine timing, but like what supports you the best in like understanding what your body's saying to you?
Oh yeah. Oh man, this is a big one for me because it was crucial in my process because I was in just an analysis paralysis, frozen, not knowing where to go, sick. And when you're in that state, and I also want to say when you're in like all these emotions and stress, you're not aligning with the best choices for yourself. You're not making the best choices. And so for me, learning, I was drawn to kinesiology. I started studying it and training in it right around the time I was getting really sick, oddly.
Yep.
Isn't that funny? And it became an amazing tool for me to learn how to talk to my body with like muscle testing and now different frequency tools to get information that other practitioners couldn't get or guidance, and working with amazing kinesiologists as well. That's like the study of really science of really talking to the body. That's how I would describe kinesiology. Protocols that have been already established, and you just really ask the body questions and it tells you exactly what it needs. So that kinesiology has been one of the biggest tools, and different frequency tools,
Yeah.
just to help me understanding. But muscle testing, to know where the priorities are. Do you know what muscle testing is?
Yeah.
I think, okay.
Yeah, that was something that was introduced to me many years ago when it was like such a mind-blowing thing. I had actually nutrients put under my tongue to test for different allergens. I had wheat and dairy and goat milk and things like that, like at a chiropractic office that they did muscle testing. And I was like, wow, like this is crazy. But then it keeps coming up more and more in my world of like how I can muscle test myself. And I haven't gotten really into that practice as much. I know that there's also still like a little bit of like maybe distrust of, am I doing it right? Is this me or is this my conscious mind? As a self practice, it's not something I do daily, but I feel like it would be something that would be beneficial for sure if I can trust my own self with it, right?
It's such a skill. It's such a skill to develop that kind of learning where the gaps were, because it's different when you're testing yourself versus testing a client, a patient, and you have a lot more blind spots with yourself. So you have to, and I really had to dig myself out a hole. I was forced to like learn how to stay neutral and that kind of thing with it. But that's what I would suggest for people, is to find somebody like a kinesiologist that is trained in that. Don't necessarily rely on yourself to get those answers. You can get a lot of wacky stuff if you don't know what you're doing. But it is like, also like muscle testing is just one tool. We also have amazing intuition and it's just, for me, with my body being in such amazing like fight or flight, I just had no ability to tap into my intuition when I was not doing well. Working with a kinesiologist was literally life-saving for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to your It's just so funny how we all come to this, to helping other people with the things that we've struggled with in our own lives. Like I was studying nutrition and was in the worst health in my life too. So when I was having like all my gut issues. So I think it's, yeah, we share that same kind of paradox of
Yeah,
like,
and I have so many degrees in nutrition, and I was working with like world-renowned microbiome research, and that kind of was so ironic.
right. So that's the interesting thing is, okay, you're somebody that you're in that world. Like you should be like, I'm good. I'm tapped into so many people that are studying this. Like I should have the answers, right? Like you, out of anyone, like you're most connected to people that would be able to support you. And yet you still feel like they fell short. Like, yeah, tell me more about that journey and how disempowering that was. And if you like, you know, your loss of maybe trust in that system and like where you're at now with kind of your philosophy around like healing.
I don't know what I want to say here because I haven't necessarily unpacked it all from my, there's a lot of stress in the science academic world. And it's not necessarily like any it's breaking things into systems in what we're doing, and just like in medicine and academia, it's breaking things. The way we're studying the human body is broken down into the digestive system, and you become a digestive system doctor, and you don't really know much about how the digestive system communicates with the lymphatic system or stuff like that. And now with what I do and the way I work with clients and what I'm able to see just with the energy medicine gathering capabilities and how I get results now, how I've been able to get results, is like you have to approach healing holistically. You have to look at all parts of the body, and just it's pretty simple sometimes when we find the answers. Like I have clients that have been struggling with digestive disorders for a long time, but have just never been able to find, and this is myself included, but we never found, once we found the right approach, this ongoing suffering is just, it ends. But it takes a lot of this information around healing holistically is just not out there. So that's it. You can heal pretty much anything by detoxing the body, is what I want to say. It's just you can talk to the body, find out what's wrong, and heal it as a unit with its own energy even. This is ancient knowledge. This isn't just something I'm saying, but it's just utilizing some of that alternative information. I can't believe some of the stuff I've discovered. Like when I got my IC valve and that whole issue with my gut was going on, it wasn't a surgery that I needed to address that issue in my IC, the ileocecal valve that was not working right and causing my SIBO. It was like a little 2-second kinesiology protocol of contact points and tapping on my head. So that fixed it. So it just like stuff like that. You would never understand how the brain can heal the body.
Yeah.
The brain can heal actual things like that. And we have had a really weird way of learning about health just because of the medical system the way it is.
Totally, yeah. And I think that there is definitely a shift, and we're coming to a point where the pendulum is swinging back the other way toward more holistic ways of healing, because obviously the system is not working and it's not serving most people, and people are sick and tired of being sick and tired and being let down by the pharmaceutical mess. Oh, and so that's our time that we get to share this wisdom that we've gone through, and we're like, hey, like you don't need to suffer, you don't need to, like
you don't need
try
to suffer
a million things. Yeah.
Even though there's like way more, like double the amount of toxins, and autoimmunity is doubled, and cancer is like 1 in 2 people, it's optional.
Well, what would you say then is like the main, if you could choose, if you're going to recommend somebody like that comes to you with some chronic issues, like what are your top main things that you're going to like really address with somebody, like foundational pieces for them to get started on their healing journey?
Nutrition and hydration. I teach a 12-week class where most people get results in the first month just because we cover nutrition and hydration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Get them superfoods, like superfood level nutrition, not just a balanced diet, not just by following the food pyramid, getting real, nourishing, pure nutrients in the body.
That the land is unfortunately not providing us unless we're regeneratively farming.
Correct. Absolutely. Purium it's an amazing solution. Or farming regeneratively, having your own garden is like that. You're using techniques to restore the soil, like your own compost pile. Farming in your backyard is totally possible too. But Purium is a great option, especially for people trying to heal their body and just need that extra help and convenience. Just shake and add water, and you have your nutrients covered for the day.
And what would you say to somebody that was like, I don't want to do any more supplements, I don't want to do any more powders, I've tried everything, why should I try this?
It's different when you get something that doesn't have a bunch of junk added to it, because most of the stuff I've tried, supplements aren't regulated, so we don't know how much we're getting. We're getting a lot more binders than the supplement compounds we're paying for. They're in isolate chemistry, meaning they're throwing the body's chemistry off, and just it's the purity of the formulations. The Purium, like they tested for heavy metals. For example, like their shakes there's other options that you can buy that are probably not tested for heavy metals. Most like powders, it's a problem with superfoods that they have a lot of contamination. So you have those purified, and they're uniquely formulated to address the glyphosate issue. And one of the shown preclinically to eliminate like drastic amounts of glyphosate from the body. So no, I don't know any other product out there that's shown to do that. And that's a huge issue, because you can't heal the gut if it's full of glyphosate, which is a antibiotic. We can't. So that's one of the reasons I have my coaching clients do Purium, is because you have to detox that.
Right.
Otherwise, you're not going to heal.
It's like an uphill battle, right? You're just like going to keep coming up against the same issues if there's something that you're taking in that's completely annihilating your microbiome.
Yeah, you have to keep a microbiome, because if you don't have that, you don't have an immune system. The gut really communicates with the immune system and regulates it. And if you wipe that out, then you're not going to heal. Right. It's one of the main reasons we're not healing. That and our lymphatic system is not draining properly. So those two issues are why people are getting so sick. So just that awareness. Purium's done a great job of addressing like these solutions that I don't necessarily see addressed anywhere else.
Yeah,
like the glyphosate issue and the soil issue. Same issue.
Yeah, that's the mission. I think we're seeing a shift in that. More and more people are waking up to the regenerative movement, and the people, like all the media and everything with RFK, and there's just a lot of excitement around, okay, this is time, because if we don't start shifting into these regenerative practices, we only have 50 to 60 cycles of soil left, and then what, right? If our soil is gone, so are we.
Soil's gone, so are we.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, by eating more consciously, like by actually purifying the body, you start to purify the mind, you start to wake up to what is going on this planet, you start to actually have energy to live your life, to have more purpose in your life. There's so many added benefits. You start becoming more of a conscious consumer. You're voting with your dollar. You're voting for more regenerative practices. And so it's just this beautiful ripple effect when we really start to actually address the healing. We're not just healing ourselves, we're literally healing for the collective.
Yeah.
And then we get to share that magic. And that's what we're here doing. You and I, is we're being messengers for that change. It's not on a personal level. It's okay, like, how can I now be the change in my community? Because every single person needs some support. Even the healthiest individual today It's so hard to be a healthy individual in this day and age. It's like a full-time job.
This really is. It is. Yeah. I totally, it is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Just to stay up on everything. And there's so much you can get. That's another thing. There's so much, what's the word? Just so much information, overload of information, saturation. So it's hard to know what's what. And that's a huge source of stress when your body's not doing well and you're out of alignment and you don't know. There's so much out there. It's hard to know what to do, where to put your dollars.
Totally.
There's such a distrust of everyone's just creating a new product. So yeah, Purium's definitely been, there's a lot of other like tools that I use, but there's just been some real amazing things that I've come across to that really cut through the noise. And just Purium's been so amazing in that aspect, because I can invest knowing like 100% of my dollars aren't going to even plastic and anything, like just nourishment.
Yeah, like for you, the
For the
planet,
planet.
like all the amazing human beings that are involved with this mission. It really is like the original food. And that's what we're advocating for. We're not really advocating for another supplement company. We're advocating for getting back to living with the rhythm of nature and bridging the gap where the food is not providing us the medicine that it once did, for the intention for us to wake up to what is going on a global scale with our soil and start taking action and being messengers for change. That's what it's all about. It's so much more than just healing the gut through some supplement or powder.
Beautifully said. It's so much about the awareness, because the people just need to make the connection and know how without education, no one's going to know what's going on with the soil. You have to really, grocery stores are not the same place they used to be. They're highly toxic places to be, whereas they used to be like places of abundance and nourishment. Oh yeah, it needs to change for sure.
Yeah, shop at your local farmers market, get outside, get in nature, breathe more deeply, have quiet moments with yourself. There's so many amazing things we can do for ourselves. But yeah, if you're going to invest your money into something, let it be into a company like Purium that is completely transforming so many people's lives and is such a beautiful gateway into this world of health, having access to amazing practitioners and people that are so knowledgeable and so giving and loving of their time and their energy and their wisdom. And for me, it completely healed my chronic digestive issues and just propelled me on this deep journey of understanding my body more and the soil health and glyphosate. Like, it really wasn't until Purium came into my world that I even really heard of glyphosate, and I was studying nutrition. That's the crazy thing.
I know. You know, and nobody knows about glyphosate when I talk to them. You're not alone. It's wild. And with my background in nutrition, your background in nutrition, and just, I'm fascinated with products and nutrition products. I've always been drawn to formulations. I've worked as a consultant for a lot of different companies and formulating different kind of innovative products. And the formulas that Purium has are brilliant. They're amazing. They're unique, and they have elements that really can heal our bodies. I love it. It's such an amazing tool, because I don't have to tell people what to eat. Like, you can just go nourish your body. You can have all your bases covered with these like easy steps you can do.
Yeah, it's the most simple and effective way to heal your body without having to go 180, transform everything that you're cooking for yourself, your entire diet. It's just like subtraction by addition. Add these in, watch your body change, watch your cravings change, watch all your food behaviors change, watch you start choosing better quality foods. Like, it's pretty radical transformation.
I have a funny story. Like, when I was like 2 weeks into doing the transformation pack, I was like in such a reactive state, and I was super malnourished. And as soon as I was 2 weeks in, I was like, I remember there was like 24 hours. I was just like, I ate like burger and donut and coffee and wine and burrito. Like, because I don't know if all of a sudden, like, I was hungry because I hadn't couldn't absorb nutrients. And all of a sudden in my gut, I felt like I could put the food in it without not having crazy reactive symptoms.
Yeah.
And it was wild, just such a short amount of time, how much I healed. And I like, it wasn't the detox approach that I suggest, just like eating like that, but I was just I was just concerned about getting new food into my body for once. It
Yeah.
was a funny story.
And that's a thing. It's like, it's such amazing damage control too for people that are like still gonna indulge in, oh, it's not, hey, you need to stop eating these foods that you get to go out and indulge with your family and friends and community and have a pizza every now and then or a burger or whatever it may be. But knowing like your body is so much more adaptive, it's so much more efficient, like it's going to be able to handle that so much better, and you're going to be able to bounce back like to yourself way more quickly. So it's a beautiful thing for someone that's like, I don't want to change my whole life. Great. Don't change your whole life. Just add these in and watch your whole life change, you know?
That was my experience. I just added it in. I didn't make any other changes. Now I try to help people like clean up their diet and get a deeper detox, but it was really restorative just for my damaged gut lining.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, thanks for doing the work that you do and letting your biggest challenge to be your greatest medicine. Usually how it all works out. We get to go through it, grow through it, and then be like, hey, I know I'm not the only one, and so many people need the guidance and just need the tools to add to their tool belt. I want to save people from trying everything under the sun and feeling really disempowered and discouraged from the systems in place, because I know that was my journey as well. And yeah, my chiropractor was like such a gateway into my journey, and she could feel where my ileocecal valve was. So I have a similar story as well. And no Western doctor, no one could tell me that anatomically what was right there. It was insane. Like I was working for a doctor at the time, and I literally go to my chiropractor and she feels that part of my body without me saying a word. And was like, oh yeah, that's your ileocecal valve. And then she did some things to release it and then educated me, and I woke up to proper hydration. I woke up to superfood nutrition, and that was it. That was the gateway. And then also my journey is very much related to movement, to the body, and being a dancer, and some musculoskeletal stuff that has been impacting that part of my body. So it's led me down like a deeper understanding of the connection of all of that. But all in all, the hydration with the superfood nutrition has been an absolute game changer for all the chronic digestive issues that I was struggling with before.
And yeah, people don't know. Also, I think it's hard to believe that it can be that easy after everything we've been through and all these hard, difficult things that we have to go through. And it's just that easy because of the formulations that Purium has and the nutrients you're getting there. But yeah, hydration like can solve 80% of our issues, I believe.
Yeah, everyone's chronically dehydrated. I sure was.
Yeah,
You know?
same. I didn't really consider that it to be like something I needed to concern myself with.
Right.
But just understanding a little bit more about cellular health now, and just like how much the body has to clean up what we do to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot we can give it a break. A lot of areas where we can give it a break and take some of the load off.
Yeah. And I love that you said it's easy. Let it be easy. Let that be the mantra. No, it doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a client with 30 years of IBS, and that's struggling, couldn't leave her house, where, just because of afraid of what could happen, and missed out on a ton of life for that reason. And she's been on Purium's Ultra Transformation Pack for a month in, and her symptoms are completely gone. And that's one that I get clients like that all the time.
Yeah.
I have stories like that all the time. It's like I mentioned that it's so easy, and it's for somebody that's been through decades of this struggle. Like, it's crazy that it's that easy.
Yeah. I know. And that's where our passion comes, when we like want to bring somebody so bad to the watering hole.
Yeah.
Right. And there's resistance, and it's Gotta trust that it's the right timing for them. But it's hard for us to watch people struggle when we're like, I know, I've been there too. I've been, and this was the thing. And just like, give it a go. Just give it a try. You have 60 days where you get your money back. There's literally nothing to lose except for all your pain, all your suffering, all your inflammation, all the glyphosate.
I literally do consultations all the time where I tell people about it, about this life-changing thing that happened for me. And it's wild, the resistance a lot of people have, but it's just, I have to honor everyone's journey. I had resistance in my journey. Like,
Yep,
people just got to trust everybody's on their path, but we definitely share I don't know I just, in our love for Purium, just because it's worked so well for so many things, because it covers your foundations and your body's own ability to
self-heal,
restore,
exactly.
and self-heal.
Yeah, and you and I both come from the science background, the very conventional kind of way. And of course, for us, we're more likely to be skeptical of things and resistant to this kind of stuff. And yeah, it took me a year, I think maybe even more than a year, a little bit over a year, to say yes when my like best friend was drinking Purium and doing the 40-day cleanse at the time. And I just didn't understand. I drank Power Shake here and there from him. But yeah, it wasn't until a year later that I did the full transformation. I was like, damn, I wish I would have done this sooner. You know,
the funny way I found it is somebody suggested it to me, and I knew I was really malnourished, and I was like, I just need like superfoods, and they were pure, which I knew that was such an important factor for me and how my body responds to stuff. Things go from like working to like full therapeutic when they're just pure plants and their healing properties. But so I tried just one of their powders, their juice powders. I tried that. I didn't know about their transformations or anything. And I had dramatic results from just like their juice powder.
Wow.
People were like, what are you doing? Why do you have color? A lot of people. And so it's just, okay, I sought out at that point. I was like, how do I get involved? Because I want to recommend, in my kinesiology practice, I want to recommend this to a lot of clients who are asking me about it. So it was like really authentic how I got involved with it. And then I did their transformation, and it blew my mind. It was every step that I added was so mind blowing. And then learning about the products and just how unique they are. And I didn't believe it existed because it's just so pure and
pure and premium. That's where the name Purium comes from. Yeah, it's next level. I wouldn't be advocating for something that I wasn't. Fuck yes, full belief. I'm living, breathing, sleeping this stuff every single day. I have been for almost 5 years. It's literally my entire lifestyle. I wouldn't be advocating for something that wasn't so much in alignment and I didn't believe in.
I've just loved going in health food stores, like before they were like a thing, just like all the different products and all the different like shakes. I was just always interested in nutrition. And now I don't even feel like I need to buy supplements like from any other company or any other, like nothing is as good as Purium. It's just like nothing you'll find on any shelf is going to give you what you get with Purium. So
that's true. Stop looking and just, here it is. The answer is right here. Me and Sarah, we got you covered.
Yeah. Totally.
So if you're ready to just say yes and try it and see how your life changes, we are here for that.
Yeah, it's amazingly transformative.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for just sharing your story and your background and how you support your people now. And thanks for being part of this mission and just taking the time to connect with me. And it's just through these conversations and planting the seeds that we never know what's really going to blossom from one conversation that somebody hears.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I have a root cause focused gut health practice where I do one-on-one and also group coaching, and the Purium stuff is foundational for the group coaching, and that's where I get the most results because people have to commit to the process and put that resistance to the side And yeah, it's a lot of fun because, and this, like these superfoods and a few other tools really made it possible. So yeah, you can heal so much just by trying it out.
Yep. Just give it a go. Can't lose anything. Only so much to gain. So yeah, it's a good entry point into a whole other world of magic that can happen.
I agree.
Yeah, sweet. Well, enjoy, yeah, the rest of your day and the weekend and all that fun stuff. And yeah, keep on showing up and serving the people. The world needs you and your medicine.
Yeah, thank you. You
Okay.
too. Keep doing what you're doing and providing all that amazing education. It's just the most important thing. I think it's the most important thing. What's going on with our food system is horribly wrong, and we don't have to take it. There's solutions like this.
Yeah, exactly. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Exactly.
All right. Much love,
All
Sarah.
right.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so, thanks so much. Lovely chatting with you.
You too. Bye.